We have new information on what happened to more than 2,000 children forcibly separated from their parents under the Trump administration's zero-tolerance border policy for undocumented immigrants. A senior official tells CBS News about 500 children have been reunited with their families since May. It's unclear how many of them are being detained with their families or remain in the U.S.
Under intense public pressure, President Trump signed an executive order temporarily ending the separation of families. The administration says it's now exploring a plan to use U.S. military bases to house up to 20,000 detained immigrant children who arrived in the U.S. alone. David Begnaud is at a children's shelter in McAllen, Texas, where the First Lady made a surprise visit yesterday. David, it was a surprise. Good morning.
Gayle, good morning. When we stood here yesterday, we didn't know she was going to be showing up a few hours later. But the First Lady says she came here to New Hope Shelter because she wanted to help speed up the reunification process. CBS News has learned that 3 children staying here at the shelter have already been reunited with their parents. About 55 remain. Look, there are roughly 2,000 children who have been separated from their moms and dads, sent many places around the country, and we've asked a lot of questions about how they got there, where are they, and all the U.S. government will tell us is, we assure you we are tracking every one of them. The bottom line is, how and when are they going to be reunited?
This was the first time this Guatemalan mother held her son in more than 6 weeks. Identified only as Delia, she told The Intercept that her 5-year-old now refuses to leave her side. Delia and her son crossed the Rio Grande River on an inner tube and were detained May 7th for entering illegally. They were finally reunited last week. Delia was released after an asylum officer deemed that her claims of an abusive relationship back home were credible. Despite zero tolerance, she was not charged with entering the country illegally.
Prosecutors have the discretion what charges to bring and which ones not to bring.
Texas civil rights attorney Efrain Oliveras says he was in federal court Wednesday in McAllen when prosecutors decided not to charge 17 fathers who allegedly crossed the border illegally with their children and were separated. Prosecutors say their decision was not related to the separation issue. The men are still in custody, now awaiting a deportation hearing.
The parents were very confused, but their main concern was the children. Where are my children? Right. When am I going to see them again? And unfortunately, I did not have an answer for them.
Their children were probably sent to shelters like New Hope for so-called unaccompanied children. During her visit here yesterday, First Lady Melania Trump was told that 3 children have already been released to their families. 55 remained.
How many times they speak with their relatives or families per week, for example?
Well, the children are allowed to communicate with their family twice a week.
Kurt Sensky oversees the shelter.
If a parent were to get out of custody, could they come here to pick up their child?
That would all depend on the specific laws and the specific situation of each child, and our case managers would walk through that.
So most undocumented immigrants who are prosecuted under the president's zero-tolerance policy are charged with illegal entry into this country. If they're a first-time offender, it is a misdemeanor crime, and nor what usually happens is they get credit for time served and they pay a fine, sometimes as cheap as $10.
All right, David, thank you so much.